These are the examples in Chapter 5.2. In Chapter 5.2 for number 1, their first example, they're asking us to talk about a train that travels 125 miles in 2 hours. And we're asking, what's the train's rate in miles per hour? So the first thing I need to do is set up my problem. So they want miles per hour. So this is first, 125 over 2. Now if I were to divide 125 by 2, I would get 62.5 miles per hour. Another way to think about this is if I have 125 over 2, if I divide this by 2, I get 62.5. If I divide this by 2, I get 1. So that's 62.5 miles for every 1 hour. 62.5 miles per hour. In the second example, they say that a car travels 90 miles, that's the distance, on 5 gallons of gas. And they want you to find how many miles per gallon does the car get. So I'm going to just plug in my data. Miles is 90, gallons is 5. And again, I can just divide 90 by 5. I know I should be doing short division, but I'm not going to today. So that's the same as saying 18 miles to the gallon. Another way to think of that is 90 over 5. I'm going to divide that by 5 and that by 5, and I will get 18 over 1 miles per gallon. When you're comparing completely different categories of things, make sure that you keep your labels. It will also help you make sure that you did the problem correctly. Let's look at the last one. This one talks about buying milk at the store, and this is actually a really useful application for this. If you look, most stores are pretty good now about giving you the unit price, but you can really see sometimes a big difference in how things are packaged. So they've told us that you can buy a gallon bottle of milk for $3.59, or you can buy a half-gallon carton for $1.99, or a quart of milk for $1.29. BK, that means background knowledge. You need to know that half a gallon is the same as 0.5 gallons, and that 1 quart is the same as 0.25 gallons. There's 4 quarts in a gallon, so that's what you need to know. Okay, so here in our first one, and it asks you to find which is the best price. So here I have $3.59 per gallon. That's for 1 gallon. So that's we're looking for dollars per gallon. Okay. The second one is $1.99 for half a gallon. The third one is $1.29 for 1/4 of a gallon. Now you can do that as a decimal and make it 0.5 and 0.25. That makes dividing a lot easier. You can also think of, and the book tells you to divide it, so let's just do that. So 1.99, the one on top goes inside, divided by 0.5. I'm going to move this decimal point one place and therefore move this decimal point one place. So 5 goes into 19 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. 5 goes into 49 9 times is 45. 5 goes into 48 times. So that's $3.98 a gallon. The last one here is the same as saying 0.25 into 1.29. Again, I'm going to move my decimal point 2 places. 1, 2, 1, 2. And 25 goes into 129 5 times. 5 times 125. 25 goes into 40 once. Borrowed that. 25 goes into 156 times. So what that tells me is that if I buy milk in the gallon, I pay $3.59 a gallon for 1 gallon. If I buy it in the half-gallon carton, I pay $3.98 a gallon. And if I buy it by the quart, I pay $5.16 a gallon. So we've discovered that, not surprisingly, if you buy it in the biggest container, if you buy in bulk, you get the best price. And that's the end of the examples for 5.2.